You are standing at the edge of a viewing platform, and your body will not move. Your eyes tell you the glass beneath your feet is solid. Your brain does not believe them. Your knees lock. Your palms sweat. Something deep and old is screaming at you to step back, even though nothing is actually falling. Why does your body do this? Why does a perfectly safe railing feel like the edge of a cliff? And why can some people stand there grinning for a photo while you cannot make your legs work? Here is the strange part. This is not really about fear. It is about a fight between two of your senses, and neither one will back down. In 1960, psychologists Eleanor Gibson and Richard Walk built something they called the visual cliff. It was a sheet of thick glass laid over a checkerboard pattern. On one side, the pattern sat right beneath the glass. On the other, the same pattern dropped away, like a ledge, even though the glass itself was perfectly flat and safe the whole way across. They placed human infants, aged 6 to 14 months, on the shallow side and called for them to crawl across. Most infants would not do it, even when their own mothers stood on the far side, smiling, coaxing, patting the glass. The babies stopped right at the edge of the visual drop. Some cried, some backed away. Almost none crawled over what looked like empty space. These were babies too young to have ever fallen from a height in their lives. So this was not learned caution. Their eyes told them there was a drop, and their bodies refused to argue with their eyes. Gibson and Walk had shown that depth perception and the instinct to avoid a fall appears to be built in almost from the start, but that only explains why babies stop crawling. It does not explain why you, a fully grown adult who understands physics and glass and safety codes, still feel dizzy on a platform you know is secure. For that, scientists had to look at something stranger. Not fear. Balance. Your sense of balance does not come from one place. It comes from three systems working together. Your inner ear, which senses motion and tilt. Your muscles and joints, which sense where your body is in space. And your eyes, which measure your surroundings. Normally, all three agree, and you do not think about standing at all. But researchers studying what is now called visual height intolerance found that at a great height, your visual system loses its normal reference points. The ground is too far away to give your eyes useful detail to lock onto. Your inner ear says you are steady. Your eyes, starved of nearby detail, start reporting tiny, ordinary sways in your posture as something urgent and dangerous. The two systems disagree, and your brain, caught in the middle, panics. This is why swaying even slightly on a tall platform can feel catastrophic, when the exact same sway on solid ground means nothing at all. Here is the detail that made scientists take this seriously. This effect is measurably worse in people who rely more heavily on vision to balance. Sway a person gently on a moving platform at ground level, and most people barely notice. Do the same test at simulated height, and the visually dependent among us wobble dramatically, purely because their eyes are giving them nothing solid to hold on to. Researcher Karen Adolph later showed something else. Fear of heights is not fixed at birth. It is shaped by experience. In her studies, infants who had more practice crawling were far more cautious at the visual cliff than infants with less crawling experience, even at the exact same age. The more your body learns what falling actually feels like, the more seriously your brain takes the warning. So when you freeze at a railing, you are not being irrational. Your eyes have run out of nearby reference points. Your inner ear and your vision are arguing. And somewhere in the disagreement, your 10-month-old self is still refusing to crawl across that glass. Now you know.